Welcome to our Monday night weekly weight loss panel. These are the GLP-1 Real Talk Live. This is the collective. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining in. Whatever has brought you to this stream, one thing's for sure, we're giving you our real experiences and our real expectations as we are each on our own individual weight loss journeys. And the first thing that I want to do is, so if you are taking Mounjaro, Zepbound, Rebel says, I'm forgetting one panelist. Y'all help me out.
Ozempic.
Wegovy, Ozempic, and perhaps you're even trying the weight loss pill now, because those that I just mentioned are all done by injection, weekly injections as the dosing. So if you are taking that GLP-1 pill, we want to hear from you. Your voice matters as well. Before we get the party started, this is going to be a great weekly weight loss discussion, and this is our fourth panel, and because of you we are here. So thank you all for being here. But before we get started, we need to remind you that this is not a medical advice. These are just our personal experiences, and we're just having conversations about weight loss as folks of a particular age. And by that, I mean we're real grown over here as we discuss these topics. And so let's start with our introducing the panelists, and I'll let each of these great humans and content creators share a little bit about themselves, starting with Kim J.
Hello. How are you doing? I am Kim J of Kim J Sweet Healthy Life. I am on Mounjaro. I started my Mounjaro journey when I found out I had type 2 diabetes in 2024, July 3rd of 2024. And I decided to get on Mounjaro, and I started that journey July 30th of 2024, and I've been rocking with Mounjaro ever since. Yes, I started at a 2.5, moved up to the 7.5, went back down to the 5 milligram dose, and currently, just to let you all know first, that I'm back on 7.5 milligram. I'm a weight loss journey, as well as, which is first and foremost, is I'm trying to make sure my A1C is well managed.
Thank you. As a type 2 diabetic, so you are taking Mounjaro. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes,
okay.
Mounjaro.
And now we'll hear from our good friend Pammy.
Hi, everybody, or Pammy Whammy, as Shay always says. So I started my wellness or weight loss journey back at the end of December 2022 when my grandson was in the hospital with leukemia, and I was 313 pounds, having a hard time getting up and helping him. And so he expressed his concerns for me and said he needed me to be there with him on this journey to get him through, as well as everybody else in the family. So I started my journey then, and that was at the end of December 2022. By August, I had like a doctor's appointment and found out that my A1C was high, even after losing 45 pounds and walking and eating low carb. So started Mounjaro at the beginning of August of 2023 and did the normal kind of titration up from 2.5 to each of the levels. And then by January of 2024, I was on 10 milligrams. And I stayed on 10 milligrams from January to October of 24. And then got to about my goal weight. I wasn't sure. My goal weight has changed a lot. But once I got to below 140, I decided I need to start evening this out. So I asked to titrate up down from 10 to 7.5, stayed there for 2 months, then went down to 5, stayed at 5 for almost all of 2025, dealt with a lot of inflammation, and asked the doctor if we could go back up to 7.5. And so I've been on 7.5 now since probably for 4 months now. And so along that journey, and I don't know, at a total, I've lost 165 pounds and been in maintenance for 15 months.
Congratulations, y'all. Let's send Pam some love. Pam, tell us what your favorite emoji is. Let's salute you for that scale victory. 165 pounds down.
Yes,
My
thank you.
friend,
My favorite emoji is the
you have
coffee
lost
cup.
a heavy person. You've lost the equivalent of a
A
overweight.
Backstreet Boy.
Wow.
I like to say I lost a Backstreet Boy.
Loved it. Y'all, it's the West Coast vibe in Pam. You just gotta know her. She's one of my favorites in these YouTube streets. What's your favorite
Thank
emoji
you.
again?
A coffee cup.
Ooh, someone after my own heart. And that helps me to make sure I have good digestion, good warm, hot liquids. And we're just doing our introductions now. Y'all are just in time. You're in the right place at the right time for our GLP-1 weekly Monday night weight loss panel. And next up is Shani.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I'm Shani. Doses of Shani is my channel. I am on the medication Zepbound. I'm Shani. Doses of Shani is my channel. I am on. Can you hear me?
We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Let me throw that on over to Mary. Mary, you're going to be next here, giving us your introduction. Go ahead and start talking when you're ready, Mary. Y'all, we've got a great big panel
Hi,
tonight,
I'm
so there
Mary.
may be a bit of a delay.
I'm Mary with Mary's Life Journey. I started my weight loss journey about 3 months ago. I've been on semaglutide, 25 milligrams, and I have lost a total so far of 22 pounds. I go this Wednesday to do my monthly weigh-in. I do weigh monthly, and I go to a weight loss clinic that is who is monitoring my weight loss. Mhm.
Thank you so much, Mary. And you bring a great perspective
You're welcome.
as you're like me. When I see Mary, I see myself, and that's in the best way. And so, thank you for being a part of this weekly weight loss panel. And then let's get back to Shani.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You're great.
Okay. So I'm Shani, Doses of Shani. I am on the medication Zepbound. I am currently on 7.5 milligrams. Of course, I started at the 2.5, was there for about 3 months, and then 5 milligrams for about 5 months. And for almost 2 months, I've been on the 7.5. Have successfully been able to lose about 95 pounds, a little more than 95 pounds in those 10 months. I am I don't know. A lot of people are asking me when I'm going to go into maintenance. I really don't know. So for now, we're on the 7.5 and we're rocking with it. My goal is really to just get my visceral fat down. I have a few comorbidities, and that's what I'm working on.
Awesome.
Thank you, Shani. And let's give Shani some quick happy hands before we hear from our next panelist, Gemini Diva, Trina, to us. So happy hands. Congratulations on that 95-pound plus and beyond weight loss. Saving the very best for last, we've got Trina, otherwise known to us in these YouTube streets as Gemini Diva.
Yes. Well, as you know, I'm Gemini Diva, aka Trina. I started on Ozempic first. Then back in January, I switched to Mounjaro. I was on the 2.5, now I'm on the 5. Ozempic really wasn't doing nothing for me. It was more of a for my type 2 diabetes. Um, I really wasn't feeling it. I'm down 55 pounds as of right now. Um, it was either live or die. That's the whole thing. I just It just had to be one or the other. Now I chose to live. I got kids to live for. I got grandkids to live for. I just couldn't do it. So the doctor told me, you either got to get healthier or, you know, people will live without you. So that's what happened. And I
Well,
chose to live.
thank you. And can I say this? Thank you for sharing your story with the world, because I myself, I'm on a Zepbound as part of my weight loss journey. And friends, I have taken as many as 3 blood pressure medications at once. And at my highest weight, my blood pressure was still uncontrolled, even with 3 daily medications for weight loss. So I want to say this. Let me be clear. I'm a believer, and with all due respect, I must let you know that God wants you to live
Yes.
and thrive, Trina, and not die. God says you shall live and not die. So
Yes.
that was
more for me than I imagined. So I'm here. I smile
Thank
every
you.
day. Every morning I wake up and smile because I woke up. And that's
Yes.
what I say to myself every day.
Yes. Yes, we have so many who are sharing their congratulations and their hellos. Y'all, let's just go ahead and get started because there's so much to share. I'm going to continue to put up comments from the chat, and so that the panelists, y'all, we are super excited to share so much information with you. Y'all, stick and stay because our spotlight today is on Kim J's Sweet Healthy Life. Y'all, we are the content creators as part of this GLP-1 weight loss weekly Monday night panel. Thank you all for being here. This is just an amazing experience for all of us. And we are talking about we're promising you all at least 5 good mini discussions about some of the topics that we face while we are taking GLP-1s for our medical weight loss. And one of the first things that we want to talk about is, why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about, I know I was watching Pam's channel, Mounjaro Journey with Pam, this past week, and she was sharing that she has been off her GLP-1 medication in the lead up to that. So Pam, you want to share a little bit of the reasons why that was necessary, and tell us about that medical procedure that you have coming up as part of being a human of a particular age. These are the regular, I think they call it part of our preventative health.
That's right. So yes, after you turn 50, they want you to do a colonoscopy. And the first thing that I did, and I'm honest with my age. I'm 56 and a half. I'll be 57 in September. And I did a Cologuard test the first time around. I was avoiding the colonoscopy. And this time I said, you know what? I better get the colonoscopy and get it all checked out and looked into, especially after having severe constipation in my first, at least in the first 3 months of taking Mounjaro. And so as you are leading up to any kind of procedure that has to do with GI system, with the colonoscopy, you have a day of prep where you take, and I'll show you, and every doctor, I guess, does something different, but there's this big gallon of medicine inside. It's called Gabalite. And I'll be drinking this throughout the day. Plus, I take, I guess, a type of laxative, which this one is bisacodyl. I don't even know how to say it. But I've been noticing other people telling me different names of medications. So you do that the day before your colonoscopy. Well, with any GLP-1, it slows your gastric emptying to keep you full longer. And so you don't always, typically you can get yourself to go and go to the bathroom every day, once a day at least. But even though you're going once a day, you may not be getting it all out. And if you go in for a colonoscopy and you're not all cleaned out, they will reschedule your procedure. And that means that you have to reschedule your work and having to do the prep again. And everyone hates the prep because you have to stay by a bathroom. So, so anytime before, that's the procedure I have coming up this Friday on Good Friday. So my doctor wanted me to be off a week before. I decided that since with all the people I've talked to in the past, that 2 weeks seemed to be a better or safer spot, because with the colonoscopy, yes, you just want your GI to be cleaned out. But if you're getting ready for surgery, we don't want anything in our stomach so that we're not aspirating during a procedure or end up having any anesthesia pneumonia while under anesthesia if you happen to aspirate, which is supposed to be like the worst thing ever. And I'm sure Shawnee can give us that information. But anyhow, yes, you definitely your doctor will tell you to get off of your GLP-1 1 to 2 weeks before a procedure.
So thank you, Pam, for sharing that so fully and transparently with us, because friends, colonoscopies are a part of what is recommended for our good preventative health. We know someone that many of us know on the YouTube streets, Sandra James Living It. She has survived, and she has a beautiful testimony about her colorectal cancer. As a survivor, she is not just surviving. I was telling her during an interview recently here that she is thriving. Yeah, let's do some hearts. I don't know why I got too much arthritis in my hands, y'all. That's part of my comorbidities with excess weight, arthritis. But so I hope that's a heart. So shout out to you. And then let's let Shawnee jump in there, because y'all, Shawnee is not our medical provider, but she does work in healthcare. And so she is just going to add a little bit to that. You had a question, Pam. You said that Shawnee could talk about what? I lost it, y'all. It's after 5. I'm just a part-time content creator.
Yeah. So like whenever you go in for procedures where you're under anesthesia, they definitely don't want you to get nauseous during a procedure when you're under, because if you aspirate, it can turn into severe pneumonia. And I forget the exact term that is called, but I recall my grandson getting nauseous before one of his procedures where he was going to be put under with anesthesia, and they would not risk it because they said that it could be very, super dangerous. I'll just put it that way.
Chime in there, Shawnee.
So yeah, it's just aspiration pneumonia. So basically, pneumonia pneumonia means you have something in your lungs, right? So it's not caused by an infection, where most people would get pneumonia. It's caused from the aspiration from the food. So that's why it's more dangerous, because you can't get it out. Some people can clear it, but usually, like if someone's older, it's really hard to clear, and you just don't want to take those chances with having aspiration pneumonia. But yeah, you explained it well. That's pretty much what happens. Everything slows down, right? With the anesthesia, everything is just slowed down. So you can't have any. That's why I don't even want you to chew. They really don't want you to chew gum, like suck on lifesavers or anything, because anything. When your tongue moves, the digestive system starts. It starts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So juices start to flow in just from even thinking about sometimes food, right? So you're already going to have a little, but you don't want anything in there. So that's why it's best to do definitely the 1 week. I just had a colonoscopy myself, and I did like a week and a half. I did about a week and a half. It was really, I probably could have did the 2 weeks, but I would say, probably 2 weeks is best to do, because you just really don't want to take any chances, because of everybody's systems are different when it comes to how they metabolize the medication, and how like you'll see some people are able to eat more than others, Like you guys know, when I went on my dose, I couldn't eat anything. It felt like everything was sitting here. Other people can eat more. So I just in my recommendation, I would say the 2 weeks, even though they're recommending really most doctors just say once a week. I mean, hold it for 1 week.
And I think, thank you both. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Shani. I think it's important to, again, remind folks, we are not medical providers. This is not medical advice. So please work with your primary care physician and your entire health team, because, and you want to make sure that they're very aware, all parties, even when you go in for that colonoscopy, and as they lay you down on that table, can you tell I've had a colonoscopy before and had polyps removed? Yep. When they lay you down, let that anesthesiologist know that you are taking a Zepbound medication. Let them know all the things that you've done in preparation for that, so that they can decide right there as the doctor begins to perform that colonoscopy, which is going down through your mouth. No, going the other way. I've had them both. Going from the other end, and seeing what they can see as part of your digestive health. And colonoscopies save lives for sure, for sure. And so, go ahead. Who wants to jump in? I heard someone go.
Can I add this really quick? Just to piggyback on what you said about how important it is to tell the anesthesiologist yourself, right? Because sometimes we rely upon the doctors, we rely upon the nurses, which I'm a very good nurse, right? But who knows? If I'm working, I could have had a bad night. I could be tired or just anything. So it's just best to be to advocate for yourself. For instance, I'm not a diabetic. But I could feel that my blood sugar was low on the day of my colonoscopy. So I said, "Oh, I'm feeling a little shaky because I hadn't eaten, right?" Some of you have heard me say this before. A lot of things in the in Medicare, in the medical field, is based on evidence-based. So it's on what's happened to a certain percentage of people, but it doesn't mean that it affects that it didn't go different for this other person. Right. So they're not thinking about blood sugar because I'm not a diabetic. Right. So when I say I'm feeling that way, even the nurses are like, "Well, you're not diabetic. You're not." I said, "Well, I know my body." When they didn't want to check my blood sugar. The anesthesiologist comes in. I immediately tell her, I let the nurse know that I'm feeling a little shaky. And she's like, "Can you come check her blood sugar?" And they checked it, and guess what? It was low. So they had to give me dextrose prior to because she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that you told me that, because we don't know what could happen during the procedure. It's only probably 15 minutes anyway, but they wouldn't know why I'm doing a certain thing, and it could be because of the blood sugar. And maybe it's only going to be low for a little bit, but maybe they would stop my whole procedure because now, you know what I'm saying? So it's just good to make sure, as KendyK said, that you tell them exactly what's going on with you, even though you might want to get that procedure done and you don't want nothing to stop it. It's better to stop it and have to do it over, take the prep over. But most people, not most people, but it's standard. They're going to know if you tell them. That's why it's good for them to know what medications you're on when they ask you what medications you are on, because if they don't know, because some people are taking things through the black market, or or whatever it's called, gray market, I don't know what it's called, but without their doctors knowing. And it's so important that they know what medications you are on, because it can affect your life.
Yes.
Thank you. And the takeaway I got from both Pam and from Shani is this: advocate for yourself. And be very transparent, especially while you are on these GLP-1 medications for weight loss. And so with that, I wanted to keep this comment coming in from one of our viewers down in the comments. Thank you for chatting. The weight of me. And I plan to continue to share out more folks who are sharing their weight loss journey, what GLP they're on, and how they're doing. Weight of me says, I've lost 160 pounds so far. Yes. And completely relate to deciding to live at 426.6 pounds. When she started this weight loss journey, she did not have a life. Thank you for being so courageous. The weight of me. Y'all check out. I happen to know that the weight of me is a content creator. So y'all check out the weight of me. And I saw some more friends who are just, this is a safe space for everyone. Content creators, not content creators. If you're on a weight loss journey, if you're on a health journey,
Yes.
and like I keep saying, we're real grown over here. I see she is Tamika. I've been on the GLP-1 since 2023. Congratulations, Tamika. I just started my Zepbound weight loss journey. This is like day 3 of week 5 for me. So I'm very new to all of this. From Wegovy, Zepbound, so different ones. Okay, some people have had multiple experiences and now maintaining the weight. So maintenance sounds like on Mounjaro. Okay, and then I saw, y'all, I'm getting through here. These are some 50-year-old eyes here, but I know the boss way, Harsharina Nat, has shared her journey as well. I want to get that up here. Friends, continue to drop in the chat. I'm going to continue to add things up here as I can. But y'all, we're at that time already where we want to spotlight one of these great weight loss stories. And we want to talk more. And we're going to hear from Kim J's Sweet Healthy Life. Kim J, talk a little bit more. Share with us what you want to share. And I think I heard in your introduction that you did a change in dosing. So maybe you want to start there, friend.
Okay. All right. Hello again. I'm Kim J of Kim J Sweet Healthy Life. And I started my Mounjaro journey July of 2024. I found out I had type 2 diabetes in just a routine checkup with my doctor, your annual or wellness visit. Yes. They check pretty much everything. And at that time, they checked my, through blood work, they checked my A1C and my blood glucose levels and found out that I had type 2 diabetes. My A1C at the time was a 15.1, which is dangerously high. Your A1C should be under 5 points or 5.6 and under. That's the normal range. And mine was about 3 times higher than what it should have been at the time. So, of course, very nervous, very scared. Knew about type 2 diabetes. Don't know of it being in my family, a bloodline, but do know, about it. Okay. And so I was very scared, of course. Immediately, I was like, what am I about to do, Lord? I talked to God about it. I'm a person of faith as well, and so I talked to God about it and asked him for help. Okay. At that point, I had to go to the hospital and the emergency room, and they put me in the hospital for 2 days, to try to get my blood glucose down. It was at a 400 something at the time of the testing, and it went down to the high 300s by the time I went to the hospital. Stayed in the hospital for like 2 days, and for them trying to actively work on getting my blood sugars down to a manageable range in the lower 100s. So it finally got down through insulin, and around the clock they were checking me, my glucose levels via the blood glucose glucometer that they use, and they just prick your finger to just check it every so often, and my fingers were turning blue and aching really bad and everything. So they finally got my blood sugars down. they had me go home, took me to, had me go to, you know, go to CVS, and I had to go on insulin, fast acting and long acting insulin, for a couple months. I was on it, and at the end of the month, I had got on my Mounjaro journey. So when I started the Mounjaro journey, I started on 2.5 milligrams. By that time, my A1C, instead of being a 15.1, it was already it had already dropped to a 12 point. I can't remember I think it was on a 12 point, maybe 2 or 4 at that time. So that means I was doing very good. I went immediately on a very low carb diet. So that helped me out tremendously. So diet and exercise definitely helps, in the effort of getting your blood sugars down as well as your A1C. Normally they do not check your blood, your glucose, your A1C, I'm sorry, until like every 3 to 6 months if you're a diabetic. But because of my A1C being so high, they decided to check mine, round the clock. Okay. And with that being said, my doctor was so excited at the time, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" She came running out the room when I was going to get my blood checked again, and she's like, "Hey, just want to let you know it's down to 12 now." And I'm like, "Thank you, Lord." So I know at the beginning, that what I was doing was working, right? And so then I got on my Mounjaro journey. I picked up my medication, and as soon as I got home, that night, I started my Mounjaro journey. I at that time I was at 253, my weight, and so I was like, you know what? I knew Mounjaro was going to be able to help me lower my A1C, as well as it was a tool that can help me with losing some weight. And I was at 253 pounds. I was at the doctor's office that morning, and they told me that I was 253. So I started with that weight, as recorded weight. And as I was going through, I didn't even know I had very few symptoms of, having blood glucose issues at the time. And I remember hindsight, I started wanting to, I had like a lot of thirst. I'm like, why am I so thirsty? And I was drinking water left and right. I'm like, oh, I'm drinking water. Yes. That's a good thing, and just using the bathroom and running back to the refrigerator, getting more water. And I just couldn't never quench that thirst. And it only happened for a very short period of time. But I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm doing good. That's an awesome thing to do, to drink more
water. You are
water.
doing good. You are doing, Shani, let me ask you this. I mean, Kim J, I'm so sorry, Kim J. But I wanted to make sure, because you had the same side effect from GLP-1 use as I did. And y'all, I'm very early in my weight loss journey using the GLP-1 Zepbound. Let's talk a little bit about itching. We've got about 90 seconds or so, okay. Kim J, no pressure here. But tell us a little bit about the itching, where you had it, remind us again what medication you're on, and how you and your medical team were able to resolve that, or how do you handle the itching?
Okay, it's not resolved totally, but I'm on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes. So my journey is about getting my health better. Okay. I have comorbidities of different things. I have high blood pressure, and I suffer with CKD as well. So, which is chronic kidney disease. And then I also have diabetes. So those are the main things that I'm dealing with. I'm on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes. And so I was at the 2.5 milligram dose, which is, when I started Mounjaro in July of 2024. That was the end of July. And then I titrated up to 7.5 milligram dose, came back down to the 5 due to some low blood sugars, because I had pretty much overcorrected my glucose and my A1C. So but the itching started at my 5 milligram dose. And, and I've been itching ever since. So
how do you manage it? Because you said it didn't stop. How do you tell us how you're managing it?
Right. So what I do, I actually use Benadryl by mouth. I take a tablet of Benadryl, and then some hours before, you can do it up to 24 hours before, is what I was told. and by a pharmacist. And then I also put CeraVe in its ointment, and I use that, and that helps me tremendously. Both of those things. And so that's what I normally do. And I still, like I said, I itch, but it's very minimal now compared to what it was in the past. Yes. Yes. Before it was like 3 to 5 days I would itch. Yes. But now it's, a little here and there. Yes. Because I started doing the CeraVe. Thanks to Felicia Marie B.
Okay. Well, see how we're working together. We have so many who are in the GLP-1 community, and y'all, I'll be sharing the visual in case you want to be a part of this weekly Monday night weight loss channel. And we're all using GLP-1s, but if you're not using a GLP-1, but you have had some successful weight loss, we want to hear your story too, because perhaps something you share about your story will help someone else. With my itching, it was immediate and it was profound. Okay. And at some point I was calling it a rash, I think, because I was trying to look at all the YouTube channels who were talking about a rash near their injection point. No, I didn't have any type of itching near the injection site. And I'm injecting in my belly on either side week to week. My whole body was just itching. Week 1, it was just, because I thought about it a couple of times. I said, am I itching? Is this from the Zepbound? And by week 2, y'all, I was drawing blood. I was scratching my body, my limbs, my in my belly area, but not near the injection site. But just, I would wake myself up in my sleep because I'm itching. So thank you for mentioning the Benadryl. And so I don't take 2 Benadryl pills at once, but I take 1 because I'm still work full time, and I gotta work, y'all.
Yes.
And piggybacking that with Zyrtec, daily Zyrtec, and doctor said you could even take a second if needed. Again, immediately called my doctor. My doctor put me on 5 doses of prednisone, which scared me, friends, because prednisone, as you know, is a steroid, which could cause you to gain weight. But that seems to have, and what he said, what my primary care said was, your body is adjusting. And since you're not having any breathing issues associated with the itching, because sometimes that could tell you that you are having, like, something that you would need medical treatment for. Or Shawnee, help me out with verbiage here.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, help me out with some verbiage here. When you're having an allergic reaction, and if it gets to be too strong, it can affect your breathing, and then that is cause for concern. Then you're going to need to pull out an EpiPen.
Anaphylaxis, when your throat starts closing up.
That was something my doctor asked me about repeatedly. Are you having any trouble breathing? I said, no, I'm just itching, and it feels like ants crawling under my skin. So I know Paul Amadeus Lane pointed me to Kim J. He's like, Kim J deals with itching, and she continues to take her GLP-1. Friends, we're going to do this. I want to keep getting you're sharing out so many successes, and I want everyone to see them. I want to pass it over to Mary's life journey. Mary, share with us what prompted you. Could you share a little bit more, because you are continuing your weight loss journey using a GLP-1, even though you've got that good medical coverage with your employer, because of your network. It's all about the network. It's not just, the name of the insurance, but it's the network you're in that determines if the insurance will pay. So would you share a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Yes, I will. Well, what prompted me to go to a weight loss clinic is because my insurance would not medically justify paying for the GLP, because I was not pre-diabetic or anything like that. I just had hypertension, so my insurance would not cover for me to do the GLP-1 up under my primary care. So it prompted me to go to a weight loss clinic, which there is still a doctor and a nurse practitioner that is there who can help me through that journey of taking my GLP and my weight loss. They offer a variety of things. I was saying earlier in the week or this weekend that I decided to do a lipovite shot, which aids in um, your fat burning. So I did do that, and I had no side effects from it or anything like that. I'm just so blessed and fortunate that I haven't had any side effects that I know of taking my GLP. I guess I don't know. I just hadn't had any side effects or no bad experiences or anything like that, which I'm always, looking out for anything that might could happen out the ordinary. And I have not experienced any of that. But the lipo shot, it burns fat, help burns fat in your belly area, your arms. It aids in build up of fat in your arteries and things like that. So it just kind of keeps you cleaned out. So yeah, so I did do that. So hopefully I can see some results from that shot. Hmm.
Thank you so much. And so, like Mary, I am having to pay out of pocket pending the appeal to my insurance company and a medical exception. I hear Shawnee telling us the same thing. Shawnee, anything to add to that?
Um, no, not really, other than I wish they would pay for it. But
Mm.
I'm grateful. I'm thankful that
Yes.
I can. I've been reminded many times. Be grateful and thankful that you can afford to pay for it. And so I'm just hoping that one day, and it has went down. The prices went down some, but the question comes, well, if since you do have to pay for it, is this a medication you're going to be on that you are willing to pay for the rest of your life? And the answer is yes. If I really felt like I needed it, I really feel like I do have the diagnosis of obesity. I didn't just gain weight. I didn't turn menopausal and then pick up some weight. And I'm not saying that someone else that happens to can't. I have, you know, friends. I have a lot of little sisters that people
Mm.
play sisters, and they're much younger than me, and they just want to lose 20, 30 pounds, and they've taken different peptides, different medications, and that's great for them. However, they can take it and then get off because they don't have the issue that at least I know that I believe most of us here have, where you have that diagnosis of obesity and you've tried everything and the hormones are just not working in our favor. And anymore. So I would be willing to pay for the medication, if I can get it. um you know what I'm saying? The only thing that would stop me from taking it is if I did have a side effect that I just could not handle. I haven't had many, a whole lot of things, but I have had some. I've had the itching as well. Not at It's different from at the insertion site. That's different than the metabolic response, right? Where like you're having KendyK, that's what I've had. And I think Pam has had that as well, where you kind of itch all over. And that could be from different things. You can just have a reaction to the active ingredient. And
Mm-hmm.
terzepatide, it could be because you're, a lot of times it makes your skin dry. and then you're itching because of the dry skin of it
Yep.
all.
Yep.
And just the metabolic changes so you can have the itching. But yeah, I've had the itching as well.
Y'all, and thank you, Shawnee, for adding to that. Losing It Grace says, Kim, I think I found a potential solution for the itch, and that's what KendyK has too. That requires just one step. Okay, y'all, she's giving us a tease. So that means she wants us to connect with her, and I'm not mad at it because I love Losing It Grace and all of her GLP-1 weight loss content. And I believe she's a Zepbound user just like me. So I love that Kim J mentioned the CeraVe. Y'all, it is a dermatologist type product. Y'all, they even have a skin cleanser. And I should say this. I have sensitivity to my skin and dry skin anyway. So thank you for mentioning that, Shawnee. I want to pass it on to Gemini Diva because like Mary and I and Shawnee, we are paying out of pocket for our GLP-1 weight loss medication. I'm on Zepbound. Y'all, they're all in my head. I'm on Zepbound. Trina, remind us again what GLP-1 you're taking and how you are able to get the medication without paying for it out of pocket.
Well, I'm on Mounjaro. I was on Ozempic. My doctor, well, let me take a step back. Okay. In the eyes of the government, I am permanently disabled. I'm a stroke survivor, have been for the last 11 years. Well, no, 9 years. I had heart failure for the last 11 years. Diabetic just as long. So everything that is basically what I have to do. I mean, there's nothing, all my medications are basically free because of them core issues. Ozempic, I was on Ozempic first, but I felt like it made me at a stalemate. So then that's when I talked to my primary care doctor, and she was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna try something else." At first, she was like, "Well, we'll do the weight loss surgery." I did that, and then I felt like, I'm still at a stalemate. So she finally said, "Okay, let's try Mounjaro," and I've been having success with that. I was at 2.5 at the beginning of January. At the beginning of March, I just moved to 5. Since being on it, I lost like at least 10, 15 pounds since being on it. But as a survivor, I mean, it can be anything. I'm at least taking 12 to 15 pills a day, so it can be anything. So
Thank you, Trina, for sharing more about your health history with us and the necessity for wanting to live. You have an awesome testimony, being a stroke survivor and having congestive heart failure as very early. So I'm so glad you're here with us, and I'm so glad that you are doing this weight loss journey with us. And I love being in a supportive community like the GLP-1 community on YouTube. These are amazing humans, and especially who are so courageous to share their stories. Y'all, we're going to do some hot topics as we continue forward. Thank you all for being here. I hope these are timely topics for us. And let's talk a little bit about let me share it, and then I'll let the panel chime in. Y'all have to kind of let me know with your eyes who wants to go first on this. We're going to Paul Amadeus Lane has a very interesting reaction video to the now infamous Monique, a comedian in America, in the US, and what she is cautioning us. She's cautioning us as GLP-1 users about what we take into our bodies using GLP-1 for weight loss. So y'all check out in these YouTube streets, y'all check out Paul Amadeus Lane and let him know that KendyK and the GLP-1 Collective sent you over there. And I'm sure y'all, he had a live stream, an amazing live stream with the queen, someone we recognize as the queen of GLP-1s, who also has lost a significant amount of weight. I enjoyed that conversation this afternoon. So now I'm waiting for the panelists. Who wants to dive into this conversation? Anyone? I've got things a little bit smaller so folks can see. Go ahead there, Pam. You've got it first. Take about 90 seconds or so, and we'll pass the microphone.
Oh, shoot. Did you want to, are we specifically saying anything, or are you asking us a question about it?
What do you think of it? Do you agree with her sentiment? I'm assuming everyone has watched this conversation from Monique, but I will include the link to Paul's, who includes snippets of Monique's comments, what her key points was, and Paul is reacting to all of them. So it's a vibe over there anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to pass because I have not seen this yet. I saw his thumbnail, but I'm wanting to watch it. So I'll pass on this one.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, so let me go ahead, Shauna.
Mary first.
Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but just looking at the thumbnail and reading the stop, let me say, when I made the decision to try out a GLP-1, it was, my blood pressure was very high. I mean, you could die from that, or or try something that's going to help you. That was really like my decision factor. I had to do something to help myself. And I'm not ashamed to say that I needed help in order to do that. So that's what really made me try out a GLP-1. So everyone has their perception. If I'm not having like a big reaction or something from the medicine, I'm fine. Because believe it, if you have a reaction or like an anaphylactic reaction, you're going to immediately stop.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll go back and take a look at it. Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do here is, does anybody else on the panel have a reaction, a quick response?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Shani, and then we'll let Kim J. Our spotlight is on Kim J today. So go ahead, Shani, and then Kim J right behind her.
So I watched part of it, and I did watch part. I ended up cutting it off because it was irritating me. I'll be honest. But I did watch Paul's video and his reaction to it, and I thought that he was very nice about it. But he
was diplomatic, wasn't he?
He was very diplomatic because he doesn't want to put another woman down or anything like that. But I think people are just misinformed, and when people, even us as content creators across the board, when we make statements without doing research, I think that's just ignorant. And so I just would hope that, because there's going to be more Moniques. There's Moniques in my family, right? There's people I'm sure in your family, or, I know people on this medication, they haven't told anyone, or, because they don't like the responses they get from people. But I just would hope that somebody that heard her and if they were on the edge of making the decision I hope that they didn't say no because of what she said. And then 3 months from now, because they have hypertension and they have diabetes, that they are not deceased because they did not do something about it. It is, there are people that can lose 100. There's people that can lose 200 pounds. There's been people that have lost 300 pounds naturally, but it's not the norm. It's everyone can't do that. And many people need help. If you do not know metabolically how the body works, physiologically how the body works, and how hormones play an issue in your response, you can, like we all have said, we've tried this, we've done this, we did this, and it just didn't work. And what's his G's? I don't know if anybody follow G's, but he says it all the time. If, and I agree with him, if you were able to lose a substantial amount of weight, say like 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds, and you got off the medication and you didn't gain any weight back, you probably did not have the diagnosis of obesity. People gain weight for many reasons. I know people that are on this medication because they postpartum and they gained a lot of weight, and it's hard for them to lose because maybe they've had a baby now in their 30s versus somebody who was 19 and 18. There's many different reasons why, and I'm sorry, I'm long-winded, but why people gain weight. So people can lose a lot of weight, but not those that are you can lose it, but most likely it's going to come
Right.
back because your body has these set points that it wants to get to because it feels comfortable there. And you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it just irritated me, not because she makes me feel any type of way about being on a medication. I don't care. It's about the people that are listening to her and maybe will take her advice. And now their family is without their loved one because she said something so ignorant. Because if you don't know anything about visceral fat, if you can't talk to me. When people say, well, why are you still trying to lose weight? You're already in a size 10, but my visceral fat level is still high. And so visceral fat is around, I had a fatty liver prior to this. I have sleep apnea. I had that prior to even gaining this amount of weight. So I've lost 95 pounds, but I still have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't know, we can't even have a conversation if you can't tell me what visceral fat is. When you ask me why I'm still on the medicine, and then I say, well, because my visceral fat, and they're like, well, what is that? Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I love it. I love it. So everybody is giving you, yep, what Shani said. And go ahead, Kim J, take a quick response because I've got another hot topic.
Okay, so that's T. And you summed it up very well, Shani. Of course, I do thought when I saw the video, I know he did it as well as Vanity, and yes, I thought it was very, very, like she was not educated about the medication. She probably heard other people talk about it and everything. I don't know her personally, but from how she talked, it seemed like she was kind of uneducated about it. Yes, if we have the disease of obesity and you tried all the things you needed to try, you've spoken with your doctor and your doctor has recommended you to be able to get on this medication, whether you talk to your actual regular doctor or through telehealth companies or whatever you did, you have to do what you need to do for yourself. And so when you think about what I need to do for me, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if someone else approves what me and my doctor says needs to be done. Okay. So that in itself, is kind of, ignorant is, to be able to talk about that kind of stuff online. Like Shani said, it may make somebody decide not to take it for whatever reason, and you may need it. It could, like Gemini said, it's could be a life or death situation. So I think you should, just make sure, don't let people shame you out of taking something. For those who may be thinking about taking this medication, it's a very good medication. And even like with my itches, I've said in my channel, I don't care about the itching because it's done so much for me, personally. And I will continue to use it. I don't care what people say to me. So that's what I think for, those people may, who've heard it and maybe like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't take this medication. It's so many people out here that's doing very, very well on the medication and they're thriving. And it's about us making sure we have good health, a good health span, and a good lifespan.
Right.
Thank you so much. Friends, we're going to move on to the next hot topic. I love that discussion, y'all. We've got some strong feelings. Monique, we invite you. Friends, Monique, we invite you to join us Monday for the GLP-1 weight loss panel. Yes, friend, we will open our stage up to you because this is a safer space now because we are living the life as GLP-1 users on our weight loss journey. So please allow us, and let's discuss it with you, Monique. And thank you again to Paul Amadeus Lane for doing that great reaction. You handled that well, friend, a friend we all know well in these YouTube streets. Back now to look at, if you are interested in being part of this amazing panel of humans who are sharing their weight loss journeys, we are not medical providers, and we are not giving medical advice, but what we are doing is sharing our real life experiences as we made the medical guided decision. This is prescription medication, GLP-1s, like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Rybelsus,
Ozempic,
Tirzepatide. Help me out, Gemini Diva. Y'all know I'm
Wegovy, Ozempic,
Zepbound, Mounjaro.
Yes, thank y'all.
Tirzepatide and semaglutide.
Yes, all of them, and now even in pill form. Remind me, panel, which one is now in pill form? Which manufacturer has
Wegovy, right?
Wegovy. I can see their commercial in my head. Wegovy, but I'm on my Zepbound journey, week 5 over here. Coming in from She is Tamika
as well.
Thank you. She is Tamika says we need to take precautions on all medications. And something that Shani said a couple of panels ago is that every medication has side effects, and even GLP-1s. The main side effect of GLP-1s is weight loss. Friend, y'all check out Doses of Shani. In fact, I want you to check out all of these creators. I'm going to be sharing out information on their channels here as we wind this delightful conversation down. Y'all check us out on Monday nights and look for the thumbnail, and the time listed on the thumbnail is the time that you'll be able to see these wonderful humans on this panel. Y'all, this is our last timely topic, and here we go. So I kind of had a visceral reaction to Monique, and I'll reserve mine. But for some reason, it made me start thinking about how having extra pounds outside of what American society especially deems as normal or average, and anything above that normal curve, you begin to get those labels attached: overweight, obese, morbidly obese, super morbidly obese, and the like. And so I also heard Shani she is not a medical provider in this space, but she's sharing her weight loss journey. But she is certainly a highly educated woman, works professionally as an RN on her Zepbound weight loss journey. She is a California West Coast vibes. That's why you can see the vibe. It's all over her and Pam. And friends, I want Shani to start with us here and talk a little bit more about visceral fats and how that might and where it could show up in your body. And that will help all of the panelists. I want to hear from all the panelists here because this is our last timely topic. And I want you to just kind of share, if you care to, identify what body shape you are. And I'll just tell you now, I'm leaning on pear. I'm choosing that as my type. But Shani, tell us about visceral fat versus, and there's another type of fat and how that might show up in the body. And I'm just using this as a way to prompt our discussion as we wind things down. But y'all, this party train, stick and stay. I still want to share out more information and some updates about GLP-1s for weight loss. Go ahead, Shani.
So basically, visceral fat, without being too scientific, it's fat that gets around your organs. You know, like your in this cavity here. I don't know. Can you guys see me? Because that's something else on the screen. But up in here, around your heart, it usually will start like around your liver, um, in your the gastric region, and then and then it'll go up into your heart, and it also will start. Well, it makes you at risk for high cholesterol, makes you more insulin resistant. So then it puts you at risk for diabetes if you don't already have it. So that's one of my main things, because I don't have diabetes, and so I don't want it, right? And so that visceral fat, the main thing for me, it was the liver, right? I have a fatty liver, and I haven't had it rechecked yet. I was going to wait a year, but basically that's what it does. It gets around your internal organs, and then if you have fat around your organs and it's affecting your blood vessels, so it's just going to put you at risk for stroke, heart attack, all the things we do not want. Diabetes, right? And so yeah, it makes it just makes the whole metabolic process harder for you to be able to, for like, even say I'm losing a lot of weight, but if I was to stop right here, maintenance would be a little harder for me.
Thank you for sharing. And friends, anyone else want to, this is a timely topic, so I intentionally use that visual for a reason here, because sometimes we can talk about things from using the medically correct terms, and then it might be easier for folks to understand with a visual using layman's terms, so to speak. And I'm just a layperson, y'all, Lord knows. I can't do anything with medical speak. So breaking that on down. Anybody else want to speak to their body type, where they might be carrying their weight as they are on their weight loss journey? I'm a pair.
I'm somewhere between.
Yes, I am. Oh,
no, go ahead.
yes, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I consider myself an apple shape. I carry a lot of my weight in my belly area. And again, that's another reason why I decided, and Shawnee explained it so well. I'm sorry, I'm just not the best explainer. She does a wonderful job. That's another reason why I decided to do the Lapobite shot to aid in burning fat in those areas, as well as um, you know, kind of burning the fat and those, I guess, your arteries, your liver, things like that, so that you won't be resistant to your GLP. So yeah, she explained it so well. I was trying to get that out, but I don't know if anybody
I love that.
understood it better. Yes.
Thank you. Someone else was going to share what shape they are, or they had a response to that timely topic.
I am more of I'm in between an apple and a pear. It's just, I've been having a hard time with my midsection. And I love my thighs. Don't get me wrong. I love them to death. I don't want to be no skinnier in my thighs, but I understand that, that has to go, at some point. But mainly apple and a pear is just, that's hard, especially after having 3 kids. It's hard.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else, panelists?
And I'm apple shaped, yes. So, yeah. So visceral fat definitely is carried and really heavy in people that are overweight and apple shaped. Or you can be considered, if you've never heard of skinny fat, you can be small, very skinny, but you can also have a lot of visceral fat. So you don't have to be obese to have a lot of visceral fat.
Thank
Exactly.
you. And y'all,
Yeah.
that is Kim J's Sweet Healthy Life. She was spotlighted today, and we try to do that too so that you get a little more feel for the comorbidities that led folks to choose to use GLP-1s for their weight loss and their total health and wellness. And y'all, I want to end here. And I want to just remind everyone about, it's not just about the weight loss. It is about having a healthy mind and a healthy mindset. It's
Yes.
about making sure that as we lose the pounds and the fat, we want to be strengthening our bodies
Yes.
with muscles, okay? And strengthening that muscle so that we find ourselves in a better place. And I'm talking whole, total body wellness. And
Right.
so thank you all who have been here as part of this stream. I just want to go through the rest of the things, and I want the panelists, as we move forward here, I want to share out some of these great panelists that we all know in the GLP-1 community. Friends, if you don't see yourself here, friends, charge it to my head and charge it to KendyK. It's just a part-time content creator. And we promise you, I'm trying to do my very best as I do my good work day so I can pay for my son's tuition bill every 30 days. So with that being said, we want to shout out these great content creators. Grant's faithful GLP-1 journey. We know that he and his wife have lost significant amount of weight, and Grant is on that weight loss journey. And I hope to soon have Christy join us to talk about her non-GLP-1 weight loss as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sticking and staying. And y'all, it's time for us to salute one of our own. Y'all, it's Vicky's World of Chaos. Y'all, Vicky has a non-scale victory loading. So y'all drop in the chat and put hashtag NSV. That stands for a non-scale victory. Not only has Vicky lost a significant amount of weight, but Vicky is chronicling on her site as part of her weight loss journey and her transparency. She has completed 100 workouts. Yeah, I'm just in week 5. I don't have 100 workouts under my belt as part of my Zepbound GLP-1 weight loss journey. So y'all shower this creator who is normally part of our panel, but her boys, she has 2 of them. They had scouts this evening. So thank you for being in that chat this evening, shouting out one of our own on the weight loss panel. We want to shout out Mary's life journey. This is a bit of Mary's content. She is a lifestyle channel. So of course she's chronicling her GLP-1 weight loss journey. And thank you for your contributions tonight, Mary's life journey. Doses of Shani, y'all. We've got another victory to share with us. Shani, you want to tell us what we're celebrating for you tonight?
That I've lost 95 pounds.
Not y'all and beyond. So she's already up with more pounds down.
Yeah,
I love
95 point something.
Y'all, let's give Shani some happy hands. Yeah, and keep those happy hands going, because we are also sending those same happy hands to our other panelists of Vicky's World of Chaos. Y'all, thank you all for being here. This is so special. Y'all, if you want to connect with these content creators, make sure that you look in the description box so that you can see. And y'all, I was just in the YouTube streets today, as I am on most days, and I saw that 60 plus and Sophie, who is a lady of a particular age, that just simply means too grown for you to be asking exactly how old she is, but she has given us an April walking challenge. And so I will pin that so that if you want to be a part of that April walking challenge, walk 1 mile a day for 30 days in April. That sounds pretty much in my wheelhouse, so I'll be trying that one. We want to shout out the low carb queen, and Kim is a part of this panel and is right in the chat. And so from time to time, friends, folks will come to the panel. We want to make sure we offer diverse perspectives as part of this wonderful panel of humans. So many folks shouting out non-scale victories and the like. And this episode, believe it or not, of the GLP-1 weight loss panel that premieres every Monday night, friends, as a live stream, sharing our stories for weight loss using GLP-1s or not, is brought to you by Pound Cake Experts, featuring 50 flavors of gourmet pound cake. Y'all, you're just in time to go ahead and check out Pound Cake Experts on all social medias. And yes, they can get your pound cake order shipped to you just in time for Easter. And so happy Holy Week to those who are believers. Thank you, Pound Cake Experts, for sponsoring this stream. And friends, I am KendyK. It has been my sincere pleasure to convene and join this stage. And y'all, next week, I'm very happy to present that next week, this stream is going on a little ride, and we'll be joining Doses of Shani. She will be our host for next week. And so look for the first thumbnails and things to come out on her channel, but just check in with our community posts, everyone. And I'm going to let these creators, as we wind down, I'm let these creators take about a minute apiece and tell us something else about your channel or what you're working on and what kind of content we can see from you this week, or perhaps you already had a video this week that you want us to check out or a live stream coming up. I'll just go with everyone. Pam, I see you right next to me up in the top grid there. So go ahead first.
Alrighty. So this week we're going to have some videos. I love to do the daily 50, and I try to keep it as simple as possible with making it as easy for beginners as possible. And since I'm on spring break, there's going to be some lives, hopefully at the beach, depending on the Wi-Fi, or some live walk-in chats. Hope to see you there.
Oh, it's the beach. It's the beach walks for me and the hikes.
Right.
Love that.
Thank you.
To our spotlight today, Kim J's Sweet Healthy Life.
My channel is still about health, all things health. And I will be talking about, I will go on live tomorrow night. And also this month, it'll be about sugar talks, which is something, that helps with highlighting diabetic patients.
Thank you so much, Kim. And next up, Gemini Diva.
Well,
Trina.
My channel is about, just things I do. I like to read, so I would be doing more book reviews. I also like to bake. I'm especially about to do a video on red velvet banana pudding I'm making for somebody's birthday.
All right.
So
Okay.
check that out. That's coming soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Trina. One thing I like about Trina's content, her lifestyle content, is because she's a type 2 diabetic, she does a lot of her recipes where she's swapping out the sugar and swapping in a substitute for that. So check out her content. It's gold for me, at least. Go ahead there, Shani.
So my channel is lifestyle and wellness, where I just share, of course, about my weight loss journey.
Keep talking.
KendyK says she's a woman of a particular age. I'm a woman who is very busy. And so I just have a busy life being a mom. I'm a boy mom. I am a ordained reverend, and I am a registered nurse. And so I just have a busy life. So I like to just share parts of my life. That's why my channel is called Doses of Shani. So for me to just look forward to just different videos of just parts of my life. I'm big on working out. I love to work out because I was not able to do that prior to losing this weight. And so I'm in the gym all the time. So you'll probably see a lot of those videos as well.
Thank you, Shani. Shani, yes, busy, but doing it fabulous. Y'all, she's gorgeous. And we will hear from Mary.
Yes,
You are
my channel is a lifestyle channel, and right now I am. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So my channel is a lifestyle channel, and I am basically I bring you guys along with whatever I'm doing in life. I am currently posting all my spring content. I have posted a spring refresh of my entryway and my living room, and I am starting my decluttering. So that will be coming up this week. I'm actually editing a video now. So I've refreshed my bedroom, decluttered my linen, my laundry room. So just a lot of decluttering and spring cleaning. So that is to come. So make sure you guys just tap into Mary's Life Journey. There is a spring playlist currently. You can see it on my community post. If you want to get caught up with everything and what I'm doing, I also do weekly live streams, what I'm doing now, and I am playing non-copyright music. So make sure you guys join me. The music is really nice.
Thank you so much for those updates, Mary. Y'all, we are the GLP-1 Real Talk Collective. We are just real folks who decided to share our weight loss journeys. And all of us on the panel tonight are sharing what GLP-1, what we're going through. We're sharing the real things, that there are side effects like weight loss that we enjoy, but then there are things like itching, how to be prepared when you get ready for your colonoscopy as we get more seasoned, I like to say, as we continue to meet our health goals. A colonoscopy at my age, at 50, is a little bit overdue. So if you've not yet had a colonoscopy in your life, especially if you might be experiencing symptoms, make sure you check in with your doctor. And as a GLP-1 user, let them know that. And friends, if the itching, y'all, that's minute. And I echo what Kim J's Sweet Healthy Life said. If you ask me, will I continue to take the GLP-1 for weight loss as a way to support my total health and wellness? And we're talking about the mind. We're talking about our faith life and our faith walk. We're talking about strengthening our muscles as we lose the fat. It's a whole wellness game over here, not just the weight loss, but friends, weight loss is our major contributing factor to all of our other issues with our body and our mindset, and providing focus and clarity. So y'all, we have a growth mindset because we are taking charge of our health, starting with weight loss. We are prioritizing weight loss and using GLP-1s to do it. Y'all, thank you. You all have been a great community in this chat. Friends, it is all KendyK. If I missed your comment and putting it up on the stream is huge because we are running both horizontally and vertically. So check us out on the replay. And if you are joining us on the replay, we've got happy hands for you. We're all giving you a special wave and thanks of appreciation to you all. Thank you. Goodbye for now.